Hello. Merry Christmas, Apollo. Are we well? Fantastic. Good to hear. My name is Ahir Shah. We'll clear up the obvious to begin with. I realize that I sound as though I've been colonized by my own voice. It's a particularly odd way to sound in London, right? London, just a city dragging itself up by its cranes to ever new heights of unaffordability. It's been that way for years now, right? It's just a playground for the super wealthy and their offspring. And I'm not from that sort of background myself, regardless of what you may think from the way that I just pronounced the word years. I'm not, it's just a voice. This is genuinely true. During the last year for which I have available data, the high school I went to sent more people to ISIS than Oxbridge. Let you guess which way I went? Pleasure to be here. Allahu Akbar. Lock the doors. You might think the last line's obviously a joke. I'll get letters. Genuinely, I get strangers anonymously contacting me online insisting that I want to impose Sharia law on the West, which, as the atheist son of Hindu parents, makes me feel ever so naughty. Sharia, moi. And now, look at me. Regular guy on the BBC at Christmas time. Yeah. Although, admittedly, owing to the BBC's diversity regulations, because I'm on the bill, you now have to refer to it as Krishna time. I know, right? O.M. Ganesh. Lots of differences between the generations. My favorite Christmas film is Die Hard. My dad's still waiting for the Hindu remake. Die Hard, get reincarnated, die even harder. It's been an interesting time this year. Lots of changes in my area at the moment, right? My part of London is undergoing a lot of rapid gentrification, they call it, right? I don't know if I can be a gentrifier because I've gentrified places in the past. I work in the arts, don't get me wrong, right? I remember a while ago I lived in a place called Streatham in South London, and when I came towards the end of my tenancy, I remember walking to the station and realizing that overnight a minicab office had been replaced by a vegan bakery, and I was like, my work here is done. It's different from the way that it used to be, you know? When my grandparents came to this country, with nothing, and yet they were able to start a family here, they were able to build a life for them, they were able to own property, largely because they drove down house prices in every neighborhood they went to, but they were able... Property. It's not like that anymore for the different generations, right? So what do the young people do? You wait, you're probably watching this at home, all the generations together at last at Krishna time. Huh? All of the young people waiting for a grandparent to cough and hoping that that's what's finally going to get them on the property ladder. The problem is, as with any kind of inequality, with intergenerational inequality, the deck is stacked and we pretend it's a question of priorities that's made outcomes not identical, right? The number of times that I've heard, oh, you're worried you'll never get on the housing ladder, but you'll spend £3 on one of your fancy coffees, yeah? Oh, yeah, well, you'll never get a little flat, but you'll spend £3 on one of your fancy coffees. Bruv, that's because you bought all the £3 houses. Few of those left, I'd prioritize that over a gingerbread latte. That is not the world that we currently live in, right? Guys, I currently, as an individual, earn more than both of my parents did, put together, adjusted in real terms, when 23 years ago they bought a 4-bedroom detached house in North London. The problem is my fondness for brunch. Sure. It's been an interesting year all round for me. Last Christmas, I came off long-term medication for... Basically, for most of my life, I've been, like, emosh. But earlier in my 20s, I was diagnosed as being clinically totes emosh. But basically, it was good for me. I was able to talk to someone when I needed to because my GP is a very old family friend, obviously. And so... I was on medication for quite a while, right? And my GP came to my last show with his wife, and apparently at one stage his wife leant over to him and said, "Is this part of it, or is he having a breakdown?" To which my GP apparently responded, "I'm not legally allowed to say." But last Christmas, we came off the medication, right? He was very reasonable about it. He said, look, initially we can reduce dosage, we just do things that you're comfortable with, but maybe we start to look at other things in life. Maybe we come off the drugs. Maybe we come off the drugs. Every time he used the word we, I felt like a woman whose husband was insisting that we're pregnant. It was like, maybe we come off the drugs. I'm like, mate, I'm the one who has to go through unimaginable pain here. All you did was come inside me without a condom on. He did not do that. It's very important that you know that at no stage did my GP do... This is on the BBC at Christmas. They need to know that he did not do... I am very worried I am very close to becoming intensely religious. Which would be so annoying, because it's definitely bollocks, right? The problem is, right, as a human being, you have all of these questions about life, the universe, and everything, right? The number of questions that you have grows exponentially over time. I'm a young person. I've already got all of these questions, and I know that year on year, more and more questions are just going to come at me like an avalanche. And I know that during that entire process, religion is just there being like... When you're ready. Soz, couldn't help but overhear that you got some questions. Thought you might like to know that we have existed for thousands of years to provide literally every answer. So if at any stage you want to thumb through a brochure, they are all bestsellers in their own right. Where did you get the answers? Don't worry about it. No, I'd like to know, where did you get those answers? We made them up to control people, fine. But why is that bad? Why is that bad? Haven't you found total intellectual freedom paradoxically alienating, and wouldn't you willfully give up some control in exchange for answers, even if in total it meant a net loss of freedom? Yes. I don't even know what religion I'd go for if I went for one. I'm basically a Christian through socialization, and there's nothing I could have done about it, you know? Why not? At this time of year, particularly. It's Christmas, I should just be a Christian. I'll be a Christian. The left-wing religion that right-wing people inexplicably love. Maybe I'd go the other way. I could be a Muslim. The right-wing religion that left-wing people inexplicably love. Never understood that. Never understood the people who are like, I think Jesus wanted me to have the AR-15 so I could hunt people if they can't afford health care. Really? Is that really what he said? Really? You spend more time in the building than I do, but that does sound off-brand. Equally, always a bit suspicious of the people who are like, when you get to the violent bits of the Quran, you just got to read it in a sarcastic voice. Sure. Sure. Probably I'd be a Hindu. Hinduism is fascinating because Hinduism is the most spectacular form of totalitarian social control that has ever been devised on the face of this earth. But most of you don't know anything about that, so you're just like, elephants! Seriously, not top to tail, but you get something like the caste system, stain on humanity, right? Know your place in a rigid hierarchy on pain of your soul. Never question why so few have everything and the rest of you are left to scrabble in dirt for scraps and no one will even touch you. Because that's what God wants. That's what God wants. The American dream. I could be anybody. The Hindu dream. Oh, maybe next time. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure talking to you. My name's Ahir Shah. Have a wonderful Krishna time.